congratulate today's Entringer Classic most valuable player from Waverly South Shore High School with 24 points, number 25, Carly Mushkin. Next game is still tied at 14 at the end of the third quarter.
Elkton Lake Benton fans, welcome to Coleman, the Coleman Egan High School here in Coleman, South Dakota. This is the Michael J. Entringer, the 27th annual Michael J. Entringer Scholarship Classic. For the girls' side, it's 27th annual, and we do the boys in a week at the Brookings High School. It'll be the 31st annual. We've got one game under our books in the auxiliary gym here. Old Hammer Mona Rutland just lost to Waverly South Shore, 55-44. The player of the game was Carly Mushitz. That was a 5'10 sophomore center for Waverly South Shore, the Coyotes, as Waverly South Shore gets the win there. Next up is our Elkton Lake Benton Elks. You can see them on the screen. I'm doing my best as far as where I was put in this gymnasium. I was supposed to be on the other side of the court. You can see a table at the top of the stairs. Well, they don't have any power up there, so we had to move us across the way, get us some access to power so I can actually have, a soundboard that works. So we're doing it this way. Not the best for my iPad, but we will do what we can. Also not the best to see the time left on the scoreboard as we are blinded by a basket that's hanging on the ceiling. So we're going to do our best today, but it is Elkton Lake Benton in the Entringer, and they will face off against a Madison Bulldogs team that is 0-4 on their season. The Elkton Lake Benton Elks with a good win over Iroquois Lake Preston last night, moved to 2-1 on their season. So that sets up some fun stuff here at the Coleman Egan Auxiliary Gym in Coleman, South Dakota, as we move through the Entringer Classic, the 27th Entringer Classic. We're going to thank some sponsors right now before we get too far into our pregame. Let me open that up here. We've got some updates on SDSU football as well. We'll get through that. But first off, we want to thank all of our Elkton Lake Benton sponsors for this. Bringing us our starting lineups in about 5-10 minutes or so, we will thank the Elkton Locker. Steve and Diane Hammer, proud sponsors of the Sauls Media broadcast, and also Elkton Lake Benton Athletics, as they are helping us bring this broadcast together from Coleman today. So thank you to Elkton Locker, sponsor of the Starting lineups, Elkton Lumber, sponsor of the halftime show. Luke and Danny can take care of you. What do you need? Are you remodeling a house? Are you building a house? Do you need a shed? Anything you need that you're building, they can help you out with the materials for that. So contact Luke and Danny in the downtown Elkton area for the Elkton Lumber, sorry. And they are the halftime stats sponsor for these Elkton Lake Benton broadcasts. Also helping us out with the Elkton Lake Benton Athletics, Shorty's Hot Box Food Truck, IPS, Integrated Power Services, Nick's Hamburgers, the legendary hamburger spot in downtown Brookings, Jimmy John's, the fantastic sandwich spot right on 6th Street in Brookings, and the Man Cave Barbershop right on South Madera across from Brookings High School. Alicia and Friends, the unofficial SDSU football team haircutters. Alicia and Friends can take care of you down there. So those are all our sponsors for these Elkton Lake Benton broadcasts. Speaking of SDSU football, the last update we got in the gym, they were tied at 14 up in Fargo as they're about to move to the fourth quarter. Let me see what I can find here. Of course, the ESPN app. It looks like North Dakota State has taken a 21-14 lead. I've got 12:56 left in the fourth quarter, but it is the Bison with a one-touchdown lead in Fargo. That is the FCS Championships. This is a semifinal matchup today in Fargo. The other semifinal happening out in Bozeman, Montana, as the USD Coyotes take their 11-2 record on the road out to Montana State. In the other semifinal, winners of these two games heading to Frisco, Texas for a national championship. So South Dakota State now down a touchdown with 12:56 left to go in that fourth quarter up in Fargo. Hoping the Jackrabbits can come out on top of that, but their work is cut out for them. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Fargo or been to a Bison game up there. That atmosphere is absolutely electric. When there is a rival in town like this, when they play teams like Mercer, like they did a week ago, they can't even sell the place out because they're so used to winning all those games in blowouts. But when South Dakota State comes to town, full building, and the atmosphere is absolutely nuts. Those fans are right on top of you. I've had camera in hand on those sidelines plenty of times. I've seen one win up there that was during a regular season. That was with Jake Weineke and the rest of those guys. I think Zenner was still there. Goddard was still there. Taryn Christian, the quarterback at that time. I've seen one Dakota marker come back home from my trips up there. But in December, that's where a lot of dreams go to die in the Fargo Dome. And South Dakota State now down a touchdown in the fourth quarter, trying to come back in that atmosphere. It's a tall task, but they will do what they can. SDSU, one of the best teams in the FCS, proving that today, that you can play with that team on their field in that building. So we'll keep you up to date. It sounds like the PA announcers are trying to keep us up to date as best they can as well. So we'll get you an update later on as we go through this. Excuse me. It's an interesting setup here at the top of the auxiliary gym. Okay. I did not lose power there. We did not lose power. We didn't do that. Okay. So we're good that way.
Is this plugged into something, this whole thing?
The white cord is. Yeah, everything was on just a second ago.
There it's going. Here.
So don't step on the cord.
Yeah. The blue cord just always really touchy.
Great.
Everything up here is just not off all the time.
Oh, it's fantastic up here. What are you talking about? It's also not cold. So, yeah.
Look at like the speaker the wrong way and it's not.
Well, that doesn't bode well for me, but I'll do what I can. What do you girls need? What do you...
We were told that we have to come play music.
Oh, okay.
But we don't know where to plug it in.
There's 2 more plugins back here. So if you need to plug in, we can get you right there. I didn't see those when I was plugging in, but also my cord is odd. And I will not step on cords anymore. Okay, I'm back. Technical difficulties up here at the top of the auxiliary gym here in Coleman. We managed. Just had a little power outage. We're well connected up here. I feel like I'm not in a fire danger at all, so we're good. So, as we move, there's about 5 minutes left of the warm-ups. We're going to go through the starting lineups here quickly. Starting lineups brought to us today by Elkton Locker, right in downtown Elkton. Steve and Diane Hammer, they can take care of you for all of your butchering needs, locker needs. They also have, the small grocery store part of it. All the meats you can handle: steaks, burgers, brats, bacon, jerky, sticks. They got it all in there. So thank you to Elkton Locker being a proud sponsor of Elkton Lake Benton Athletics. And the Sauls Media broadcast starting today for the Elkton Elks. Number 2, Gella Jones. She is a 5'7" junior guard. Number 3, Charlie Toft, a 5'9" junior forward. Number 10, Sydney DeFries, a 5'7" sophomore guard. Number 13, Maya Jensen, a 5'11" senior forward. And number 15, Andrea Renkley, the 6' senior center. Those are our starters for the Elkton Lake Benton Elks. Starting up for Madison today, number 2, Ella Malone. She's a 5'9" sophomore forward. Number 3, Lindsay King, a 5'6" guard. She is a senior. Number 12, Jaya Engels, a 5'9" freshman guard. 15, Cambry Hunsley, a 5'9" senior forward. And number 23, Tanisha John, a 5'11" senior forward. And those are your starters for the Madison Bulldogs, brought to us by the Elkton Locker today. We're going to do our best from the small cavity here atop the auxiliary gym. Back when I was here, that was, early in my high school days. We're talking 35 years ago. This was the main gym, so we've upgraded from there. When we do the Sioux Valley game later on today, that's a 6:30 start. We'll be in the main gym over there, so we'll have maybe some better facilities over there, a little bit more power, a little bit more access. But we'll do what we can for Elkton Lake Benton here at the 27th Annual Girls Entringer Scholarship Classic. Giving you an update on SDSU as they are up in Fargo. Trying to get an update on that. It is still a 21-14 lead by NDSU. There's 10:45 left in that fourth quarter. SDSU currently has the ball, 3rd and 10. They're on their own 39-yard line, but it is a SDSU possession at the moment. So we'll see what the Rabbits can pull off. That game is on ABC today, also ESPN Plus. So plenty of opportunities to see it and watch it. But we'll have to do it on our phones here at the Coleman Auxiliary Gym today. The Elks, so far in their season, as I mentioned before, they had a good win last night at Iroquois Lake Preston, got a win over the Sharks. They're 2-1 on their season under first-year head coach Mike and Vincent, fresh off of her career at Dakota State. So the 2-1 Elkton Lake Benton Elks have a good win over S-Line Hendricks. That was game number 1 on the 13th of December. Played Castlewood tough and then had a tough second half as they lose at Castlewood. And then last night in Iroquois, they beat the Iroquois Lake Preston Sharks 39-34. And today sets up the matchup with the Madison Bulldogs. Madison 0-4 on their season. Elkton trying to keep them winless today. So we will see what happens Right here from the auxiliary gym, you can see that we were just about to do starting lineups on the floor. For Madison, let me bring up their schedule of what they've been doing in their 0-4 losses. Their opening match was against Del Rapids, who is playing in the main gym right now against Dubrook. They have a loss to receiving votes Elk Point Jefferson, and then 2 more losses, one to Tri-Valley, and then just last Thursday, a couple nights ago, a loss to Lennox. Their high score that they put together so far this season, 29 points. But they are getting beat up by the other teams. That was a 37-point loss. That is a 51-point loss. Yeesh. That one is 28, and that one is 44. So they have really struggled as a basketball team so far. So Elkton Lake Benton trying to keep them in that same type of boat. For the Elkton Lake Benton Elks, Madison today here in the Summit. And then they're done until after the first of the year. Next game up will be Waubay Summit. That'll be the first home game of the season on Thursday, January 2nd. And they'll back that up with a Tuesday, January 7th home game against the Tri-Valley Mustangs. So after today, they get a nice break through Christmas, through New Year's, and then back at it after the first of the year. So that is our schedule for the Elkton Lake Benton Elks. I think I probably have to cover the Waubay Summit game, I think, if it works out in my schedule. And then after that, my partner in crime, Alan Rydell, the former Brookings radio man who was the Sioux Valley voice about 6 or 7 years ago, he's going to take over for the Elkton Lake Benton Elks, so he'll be able to get with the rest of this schedule. The home games, the away games, looks like there's a trip to Canton this year. They got a matchup against Hillsbury Creek. That's probably at the Pentagon down in Sioux Falls, maybe. It says to be determined there. Still a trek on the horizon to Canastota for Elkton Lake Benton, along with the home games that are set up there. So my pal Alan Rydell will take over for the rest of the season once he gets up and running. He is on a cruise right now. Then it's Christmas. Then it's New Year's. No games until after the 1st, so I think he's going to join back in starting on January 6th, I believe, is the text that he sent me. So that is what the Elkton Lake Benton girls have going on today. You can see that the screen has a scoreboard as well, so I'll do my best to keep us updated on that. With 9 minutes, 16 seconds left, SDSU still has the ball on that possession. They're down a score, but it's 1st and 10 from the NDSU 16-yard line, so SDSU hoping that they can punch in here shortly. See if they can't tie that game up in the 4th quarter. So we will keep you up to date on that. Madison in the road blacks today. They've got white numbers and white letters for their jerseys. The Elkton Lake Benton Elks in their home whites with the blue trim, blue letters, blue numbers. Should be a good matchup here at the Auxiliary Gym in Coleman, the 27th annual Entringer Classic. Let me bring up my scoreboard here. Keep you up to date on that. Do my best to keep up with everything, including keeping us up to date with our video as well. So let me get myself ready. That is Andrea Rinkley for the Elks on the jump. The jump is going to be controlled by Madison. They are moving from our right to our left to the home, or in the road blacks. For Madison now, that is going to be knocked out of bounds. Charlie Toff getting a handle on that, or getting a hand on that, knocking that pass out of bounds. So Hunsley is going to throw this in. That is Lindsey King, top of the key for Madison. Looking for Malone, throws that away. A steal by the Elks. So the Elks now, Maya Jensen. There's Gella Jones, top of the key, looking for teammates. She'll hand it off to Sydney DeFries. Sydney DeFries is going to drive down the right side lane, stolen away by King. Madison the other way, and that'll be knocked out of King's hands and out of bounds. Madison will keep it, though. Madison going to throw this in. And Number 20 is a number that I do not have on their roster. That bodes well for me. But a turnover by Madison. The Elks will bring it the other way. Gilla Jones, top of the key. It's DeFries. We're going cross court. That's top now. She'll drive it to the top of the key, back it up, reset it from there. Trying to get around the corner. She's going to find Andrea Wrinkley in the paint, and Wrinkley is going to be pushed out of the lane. That is Tanisha John, number 23. First team foul for Madison. First personal for Tanisha John. Elks get it into Wrinkley now. She's on the right block. She's going to throw it back out to Toft, who saves it from going out of bounds. Wrinkley now, and her hands in the right corner. Back up to DeFries. 23 on the shot clock. Plenty of time for the Elks. Gilla Jones. She'll drive right down the right side of the paint. Stop at 10 feet, and that'll be off the mark. Madison the rebound. Be Cambry Hunsley the other way for the Bulldogs. Malone now. Tanisha John on the baseline. Her throw to teammate is over her hands. And Sydney DeFries is going to run that down. Her pass to Wrinkley gets away from her. Wrinkley tries to save it, but it's going to be over and back on the Elks. So exchanging turnovers is all we're doing so far with 6:19 left to go in this first quarter. We are going to get a timeout by the Madison Bulldogs. Head coach is Maxine Underbrunner. First-year head coach Mike and Vincent for the Elks. Her assistants are Mallory Babb and Adriana Martinez. You can see part of them there. I can't reach my iPad any farther through this hole without worry of it falling to the floor, so we're just going to keep it like that. I'm running into a ridge on my left side here, but everything's fine. We're good. All I needed was power on the other side. There was no extension cord over there, so I don't have any power over there. They set a table up for me. They just didn't give me any power. So out of the timeout now. Madison will throw this in after the over and back by Elkton Lake Benton. Madison trying to get this in. They're going to find Malone in the paint. That'll be a block by Andrea Wrinkley. ELB the other way now. Toft. Looking for Wrinkley. Now she'll throw it up to Sydney DeFries, top of the key. Maya Jensen now. Back to Toft. Toft is going to drive right through the paint. Stop at 10 feet. Take that jumper. And we have a connection for the Elks. 2-0. Elks bringing full court pressure now. Malone gets it across the timeline. Sydney DeFries trying to steal that away. Almost. Hunsley now will take it down the right side for the Madison Bulldogs. Tanisha John with an air ball from baseline. Run down by Madison. They find another three-point open look. Number 20 is someone I don't have on my roster, so I don't want to really guess. Sydney DeFries with the Elks the other way. Mike Jensen now top of the key. That's Toft over in the corner. Trying to find someone in the paint to throw it to. Doesn't have any of that. Sydney DeFries will try a three. That's in and good. Elks bringing full court pressure again. Sydney DeFries is going to get a steal. Nice job there. Sydney DeFries with another jumper off the mark, and that'll be Prosh that gets fouled. Jocelyn Prosh in for the Elks. Prosh on the free throw line for the Elks. First one off the mark. In for the Elks, that is Maddie Jensen. In for her sister Maya Jensen. Maddie is a 5'10" sophomore forward. Prosh on the foul line. Second foul shot. Up and good. So the Elks take a 6-0 lead here. 4:50 left to go in this first quarter. Sydney DeFries playing great defense there. Ball's knocked around. Now it's acting like a soccer ball out there. And we've got a kick by the Madison Bulldogs. So ELB bringing the pressure and getting another turnover. That's 2 possessions in a row. Charlie Toft is going to throw this in underneath the ELB basket. Looking for Wrinkley, looking for DeFries. Now she'll throw it up to the top of the key. That is going to be Prosh that gets that. Maddie Jensen on the left elbow. Picks up her dribble. Now she's in a little bit of trouble. Prosh is going to send it back up. Brinkley does a pump fake at the three-point line. She drives all the way to the left block, spins, and she will be fouled on her jumper. This will be the third team foul on Madison. That is number 15 that picks it up. That's Cambry Hunsley, her first personal. So Andrea Rankley for the Elks on the line. First foul shot rolls around the rim and out. Gella Jones back in. Jocelyn Prosh will take a breather for the Elks. Rankley, her second attempt. Up and good. And Maya Jensen will come in and give Rankley a break. So ELB bringing full court pressure now. Once again, 2 times in a row they've gotten steals by DeFries and some buckets out of that, some points out of that. Madison able to break that. That's Ella Malone taking it down to the left corner. Now she'll drive in. That's in and out. Long rebound. Run down by Gella Jones. Now in transition, ELB, and she has it knocked away from behind. Good defense by Lindsey King for the Madison Bulldogs, but it goes out of bounds. ELB is going to throw it in underneath their basket. 7-0. ELB has a lead here in the first quarter. 4:15 left in this first quarter. Toft will throw that into Jones. She's going to drive in from the three-point line. She's stopped by a couple of Bulldogs. Almost a tie-up. She finds a way to get it to Jensen. Over to Toft. She'll drive into the paint. She'll stop right at the elbow and be called for a travel before it's tied up. Tanisha John back in for the Bulldogs. That is Hunsley taking a breather. Bulldogs get it to John. Now they get it down the far sideline. It'll be Malone going on the right block. That's off the mark. She gets her own rebound, and now we've got a tie-up. And the possession arrow is going to point towards the Elks. Andrea Rankley back in for ELB. 3:52 left to go. Gella Jones will get that across half court. Sitting to freeze now. Back up to Maya Jensen, looking for Rankley in the paint against Tanisha John. She's going to throw it back out. Toft gets that, top of the key now. She'll drive down the left side lane. It's stolen away by the Madison Bulldogs. That is number 11, who almost travels herself, and that'll be a foul on Toft. Going to the line for the Bulldogs, number 3, Lindsey King. It was Grace Fegan, number 11, that was doing the transition for the Madison Bulldogs. On the line, Lindsey King, first free throw off the mark. Second free throw for Lindsey King for the Bulldogs coming up. On the way, and that's off the back of the iron and out. Gella Jones the rebound quickly up the floor. Sydney DeFries streaking to the basket. Her throw is knocked out of bounds by the Bulldogs, so Elkton Lake Benton will retain it. Now Peyton Keel in for the Elks. Toft will take a breather. That's Maya Jensen on the inbounds. Her throw to Rankley knocked around and out. Madison forces the turnover. That was Lindsey King. That'll be a three-point shot, an air ball by Madison. It was Malone that was shooting that. And that goes out of bounds on Madison, so a turnover by the Bulldogs. Still scoreless in this first quarter. 3:13 left to go in the first. Gella Jones, top of the key now for the Elks. Turns and spins, has nowhere to go, and there's an extra step in there. She'll be called for a travel. Jones into freeze for the Elks, bringing pressure. Maybe not trapping pressure, but making Madison work just to get it up and down the floor. And another turnover there as it's knocked out of Malone's hands. Sydney DeFries gets across half court. Jones will drive in. Andrea Rankley with a 10-footer. That's up and good. 9-0 now here in the first quarter. Long throw by the Bulldogs. Tanisha John finds a way to get a handle on that. It's knocked out of her hands. Maya Jensen will come up with that. The Elks with another steal. Sydney DeFries, no one stops her. She gets it to 10 feet. She'll try a jumper off the mark. Madison the rebound. Now Madison quickly the other way. That is going to be Malone all the way down by herself. And Madison gets on the board. DeFreeze now right wing for the Elks. Peyton Keel, top of the key. Monahead Jensen, she gets that. Loses her defender. She'll drive baseline all the way to the rim. She decides to throw it back out to Rankley. Now Peyton Keel's going to try a three. That's in and out. Sydney DeVries, the offensive board, and she puts it back in. Elks bringing the pressure once again. Sydney DeVries, a busy body out there. Madison will throw this in, far sideline. That is Hunsley. Has had that knocked away. Sydney DeFreeze with the tap. Out of bounds on the Elks. But once again, Elkton just making Madison work for every possession here. Grace Fegan will get it to the top of the key. Tries to find John in the paint. Number 21 with the three-pointer. That's Madison Rummel off the mark. Elkton the rebound. Be DeFreeze taking it all the way down to the right block. And her layup will be fouled. So the 14th foul on Madison. Personal foul goes to Grace Fegan, her first. So this will be Sydney DeFreeze. First free throw attempt off the back of the iron and out. 1:25 left to go in this first quarter. DeFreeze now, second free throw on the way. And that's good. Elks bringing pressure once again. Rummel beats the defense. That's Tanisha John. Her pass knocked away, but it'll be Madison getting it into the paint. Now we've got a steal by the Elks as they knocked it out of number 20's hands. Is that Topkin? Not sure on the number 20. I don't have that on my roster sheet. Rankley, left block. She throws it out to Top. Top back in the game for the Elks. Rankley has it knocked out of her hands. Topkin now is going to have it knocked out of her hands. It's Rankley gets a piece of that, but out of bounds. Madison will keep it and throw it in underneath their basket. Kennedy Bryant coming in for the Bulldogs. Tanisha John will take a break. So Madison throwing this in now. Topkin in trouble. 15, that's Hunsley. She'll dribble to the left elbow, get rid of it, and Topkin's going to have a three-pointer off the mark. Good rebound by Madison. And a second attempt is going to be blocked by Rankley and off the hands of number 1. That's Kennedy Bryant. The first attempt that Bryant had was blocked by Rankley. And then trying to regain control of it, that's when it went off of Bryant's hands and out of bounds. Gella Jones now for the Elks. Picks up her dribble, but will be fouled by Madison Rummel, number 21 out there, the 5'5" sophomore guard. And that is the 15th foul on Madison as we've got 24.3 seconds left in the first quarter. Gella Jones, free throw attempt off the back of the iron and out. Maya Jensen back in. Maddie Jensen will take a breather for the Elks. Gella Jones, second free throw attempt. And that one is good. Elks, full court pressure. Jones gets a handle on that. Now we're up and down the sideline. That is Topkin throwing it to Rummel, and that'll be out of bounds. Turnover by Madison. Number 11, that was Grace Fegan that had it knocked out of her hands and had to run that down before they went up the far sideline. Gella Jones with 10 seconds left in this quarter. Gella Jones will take it right down the left side. Toft with a three-point shot. That is good. Charlie Toft making it a habit of scoring right at the end of quarters. So that'll make it 16-2, a lead for the Elks here at the end of the first quarter. We got two players that are tied at 5 points apiece. Charlie Toft with that three-pointer, get her to 5. Sydney DeFreeze the same. She has 5 points on her night. Her afternoon, I guess I should say. And then a couple of free throws out there, one by Andrea Rinkley and one by Gella Jones. That's how we get to 16. I'm missing a couple there, aren't I? Oh, yeah. Sydney DeFreeze has got 4, 7. I missed a bucket by Andrea Rinkley. So Rinkley's got 3. Sydney DeFreeze has 7. Thoft with 5 points, and that's how we get to our 16. So 4 minutes left. Up in Fargo, they're tied at 21 up there. So SDSU did do the job of getting in the end zone. So now they're tied at 21. We'll have another update coming here at halftime unless our PA announcer gives us something better. Jackrabbits trying to hold on and get back to Frisco, Texas, going for their 3rd national title in a row. Elks with another steal in the paint. That was Rinkley that got that. Her outlet pass to Gella Jones. Jones has to run it down over to Toft. Toft looking at the 3. She'll drive to the elbow. Quick pass to Maya Jensen. Now into the paint. That was over the hands of Toft. Turnover by the Elks. Madison will get it down. That's Rummel. She's going to find Hunsley in the paint. That's off the iron and out. Rinkley the rebound for the Elks. Outlet pass, Gella Jones. Toft will get it on the left wing. Aggressive defense by Grace Fegan. Gella Jones now, and that one is too aggressive. That'll be a foul on Jones. So the first team foul of the second quarter for Madison. That is Fegan's 2nd personal. Number 2, Ella Malone back on the floor for Madison. So the Elks will throw this in. Toft right underneath the ELB basket. Toft will find Gella Jones. She'll drive into the paint. Back up to Toft, top of the key, and she's going to be called for an extra step before she dribbled. Another turnover by the Elks. So now they will set up full court pressure. Trying to get traps and steals out of that. Madison beats it this time. Cross court to Fegan. She's got to run it down on the far sideline. She'll find Hunsley. Back to Fegan. Malone in the paint. She throws it out. Three-pointer off the mark, and ELB's going to run that down. Toft with the rebound. Maya Jensen now the other way for ELB. Her throw just barely gets to Jones. She's going to try a jumper just inside the three-point land. That counts. So a long deuce by the Elks. Another three-point try. Sorry, just a two-point try for Madison that time, but from the corner, outside of our vision. Jones will take it all the way down the paint. She'll be fouled on her attempt. So Jones, after the long deuce, will now head to the line. Try to add a couple more. 6:14 left to go in this first half. Gella Jones with a free throw attempt. Her first one on the way, and good. To freeze off, Maya Jensen off, Maddie Jensen in, and looks like Jocelyn Prosh back on the floor for the Elks. Gella Jones, her second free throw attempt. Off the side of the iron and out. That'll be Hunsley with a rebound for Madison. She'll take it the other way. Hunsley takes it right down the paint, stolen out of her hands. Another turnover by Madison, another steal by Charlie Toft. Prosh. Back to the top of the key. Jones, Rinkley in the paint now. She'll spin all the way over the left block. Her shot is blocked. Hunsley with a good defense. Rinkley tried to get a steal there. Wanted a travel call at the same time. Didn't get it. And then we'll have a kick on the other end. Tanisha John back in. Hunsley will take a breather for Madison. Grace Fegan will throw this in. Lindsay King now, top of the key from Madison. That throw off the mark. I think it goes out of bounds in the corner. I can't see it over there, just like you can't. Topkin back in for the Madison Bulldogs. That's Grace Fegan now, top of the key. Malone's going to drive right down the right side of the paint, and it'll be fouled by Andrea Rinkley. 2 shots coming for Ella Malone, the 5'9" sophomore for Madison for the Elks. First team foul of the quarter. And that was the first personal on Rinkley. Free throw by Malone, off the mark. In for the Elks, that's Peyton Keel. Malone, a second free throw on the way, and that's good. 19-5 here in the second quarter. 5:30 left to go in the second quarter. That'll be Gella Jones, knocked out of her hands. Topkin's going to take it the other way for Madison. She finds Lindsay King, and there's an easy bucket. A 3-0 run by Madison as we get it to 19-7. ELB now, Peyton Keel, top of the key. Gella Jones looks at a long three. Now she'll try to dribble in, finds Toft at the top of the key. She'll dribble into the elbow, kick it out to Jones. Jones is going to drive baseline. Knocked out of her hand. She regains control. Toft, Rankley in the paint. Throw back out to Jones. Now she'll take that three. Too short on that. Madison the rebound. Topkin will get it and take it the other way. Lindsay King with a long three. Off the mark. Toft gets the rebound. And the pass to Gella Jones. She'll be knocked to the floor by Lindsay King. That'll be a foul on Madison. Third team foul. For Lindsay King, that'll be her first personal. A couple of different subs for Madison now. So they're going to have Topkin, King, Rummel on the floor with Tanisha John and also Malone. Move my camera so you can actually see some of that. Peyton Keel going to drive, and should be called for a carry, so a turnover by the Elks. 19-7, 4:26 left to go in the second quarter. Elks bringing pressure. They beat that, though, with a throw-in. Madison the other way now. That's Malone. She'll find Tanisha King in the right block. She'll spin on Rankley, get it off the bankboard and in. Good take by John. ELB the other way. Sydney DeFries will drive in from the right side. Her runner off the mark. Tanisha John the rebound. Madison making a little push here. Malone has it knocked out of her hands. Another steal by the Elks as Sydney DeFries got a hand in there. Outlet to Pross. She'll take it across half court. Peyton Keel with a three-pointer from the left wing. That's off the mark, but it's DeFries with a rebound. And she just had a bad angle. Couldn't get that in. Madison will take it the other way. Rummel has it knocked out of her hands, but it'll be off ELB and out of bounds. So Madison's going to keep it and throw it in underneath their basket. 19-9 our score here. 3:43 left to go in this first half. Rummel, Topkin, and that'll be stolen away by Toft. Bodies everywhere, and Sydney DeFries is going to have that knocked out of her hands and out of bounds, so the Elks will keep it, throw it in underneath their basket. Charlie Toft kind of smiling at that as she was thrown to the floor. ELB now. Toft will find Maya Jensen, top of the key. That's Jones in the right corner. She'll drive baseline. Good move there. Finds Rankley on the other block. It's knocked out of her hands. Stolen away by Madison. Lindsay King now will get it across the timeline. Her pass to Malone is stolen away. Teams exchange turnovers. Gella Jones now for the Elks the other way. Jones, top of the key. She'll drive into the elbow. Maya Jensen. Back up to Jones, looking for Rankley. She shakes it off. We're going to reset it. 3 minutes to go left in the second quarter. DeFries now, top of the key for the Elks. She's going to drive down the left side of the paint. Knocked out of her hands. That is Topkin that gets that. She's going to take it all the way down. Too short on her layup attempt, and Wrinkly's going to be fouled on the rebound. A reach in by Rummel. That'll be the 4th team foul on Madison. And that is the 3rd personal for Madison Rummel, the 5'5" sophomore guard. Is going to have to probably sit the rest of the first half here. 2:50 left to play in the second quarter. Jones will get it across the timeline. Jensen now looking for Wrinkly in the paint. She had a streak that was open. Couldn't get it to her. Jones bringing it up to the top. DeFries now for the Elks. Cross-court pass to Toff. Dangerous. Toff gets it, drives it to the baseline. Now she'll dribble back out, give it to Jones. She'll stop at 15 feet, throw it back. Toft in the paint. Over to Wrinkly. There's a 15-footer off the mark. Madison the rebound. Lindsey King up to Fegan. Fegan will look at the three. Now throwing to John, back to Fegan. There's a right corner three. Air ball on that, too strong. Maya Jensen the rebound. Outlet to Sydney DeFries. The Elks are on the move. Sydney DeFries from 15 feet. Too strong there. Long rebound. Madison gets that. Now Fegan will take it the other way. Fegan will find Tanisha John. She'll try the 10-footer. Turn around in the paint, and that's in and good off the backboard. And we're going to get a whistle and I believe a timeout by the Elkton Lake Benton head coach, Micah Vincent. 19-11 our score here in the second quarter. We've got 1:49 left until halftime. Let me see if I can't find you an update on those Rabbits. Jack Rabbits, where are you, ESPN? Seriously, what is going on? What is all open here? What is happening? There we go. So an update on our Jackrabbits. It is 28-21. North Dakota State has a lead. SDSU has the ball. 1:17 left to play in the fourth quarter. The Jackrabbits are looking at a 4th and 17 from their own 40-yard line. Down a score in the fourth quarter in Fargo. That is all bad recipe type of stuff. So we'll have an update on that more at halftime. Get hopefully a little bit more story on what's going on there. But we'll keep you up to date here in Elkton, or here in Coleman, as well as the Elkton Lake Benton Elks have a 19-11 lead over the Madison Bulldogs here in the 27th annual Girls Entringer, a scholarship classic, a great event every year. The Elks will bring this up out of that timeout. Gilla Jones now across half court. Has it knocked out of her hands. Toft will run it down. She's facing a double team. Toft will throw it to Wrinkly. Jones now top of the key. She tries to drive in. Wrinkly just don't go anywhere. Gilla Jones trying to find Sydney DeFries. Knocked out of her hands, so a bad pass there and out of bounds. A turnover by the Elks. Madison will take this over with 1:28 left to go in the second quarter. They've cut the lead to 19-11 now. John will get that to Grace Fegan. Her pass stolen away by Toff. Long outlet. That's Jones taking it the other way for the Elks. She'll stop at 15 feet. Throw it back to Toff. She'll drive into the paint. Take a jumper, and that's off the front of the iron. Tanisha John the rebound. Madison the other way. 1:08 left to go in this second quarter. King to Malone. She'll turn around from 15 feet. That's off the mark. Offensive rebound by Madison. Gets it up to John, top of the key. Over to Lindsey King now. Fegan's got it. 47 seconds left to go. And that pass knocked away by Toft. Steal by the Elks. 40 seconds left to go in this second quarter. Jones across the timeline. Sydney DeFries now, right wing. Cross-court pass, dangerous to Toft. She gets a hold of that. She'll drive into the paint once again. Stops at 10 feet, throws it back out. 27 seconds left in the second quarter. Sydney DeFries, drive it to the baseline, tries that, off the mark. Madison the rebound. Fegan the other way. Fegan will stop. And that'll be stolen away by DeFries. 13 seconds left. Sydney on the streak all the way down in transition. Too strong off the backboard. Can't connect on that. Madison the other way. Fegan with 4 seconds left. Long three In and out, and a rebound by Maya Jensen, and that's how our first half is going to end, 19-11. Crazy last 2 minutes there. As we now move to the Elkton Lumber halftime show, the limited stats that I have here. I've got Gella Jones with 4 points on her afternoon. Charlie Toft with 5. Sydney DeFries, she's got 7. Andrea Renkley, she's got 3, but we've got turnovers and steals all over the place. Not a lot of stats coming up to the auxiliary press box that I'm in right here. So as we continue through our Elkton Lumber halftime show, see if I can't get you an update on those Rabbits. Did they convert? They did not. So I would imagine that NDSU is just running this out now. It is 28-21, a lead by NDSU in the FCS semifinals. 1:05 left to play. North Dakota State has the ball. And they are just kneeling it down. Cam Miller with a kneel down at 1:10. SDSU can't stop the clock anymore. It's going to be over up in Fargo. The reign of 2 straight national titles is coming to an end as the South Dakota State Jackrabbits are going to get beat by the arch nemesis, the Nitwits of the North, 28-21. That'll move NDSU to the FCS National Championship game. Their opponent will be named later on this afternoon, as those stupid Coyotes are going to get a rude awakening in Montana today, as they will visit the Montana State Bobcats, the undefeated 14-0 Bobcats. Number 1 team in the FCS playoffs. Coyotes in for a tough environment, a rude awakening. Outside in the cold, they're just going to be in an environment that they are not used to at all, and that usually spells a pretty bad recipe for visiting teams to the Montana stadiums. Oh, they left. I don't know how to do that. How's that?
If I could get your attention to the center of the court, we want to honor Hall of Fame, Joel Jorgensen.
This is life in Class B, as they have their backs to me, which is fantastic. This is one of the awards given away at the Entringer Classic, I believe. I can find this in my program here, as I believe this is Joel Jorgensen, who is entering the Entringer Hall of Fame. He is out of Madison. And I'll just let the P announcer do the rest.
South Dakota State University in 1998, and his specialist degree in the school superintendent program from the University of Sioux Falls in 2002. Joel began his teaching and coaching career in Wagner, South Dakota, or Warner, South Dakota, where he served as a high school industrial arts teacher, head football coach, assistant basketball coach, and assistant track coach from 1985 to 1988. He and his family moved to Arlington, South Dakota, where he dedicated a decade from 1988 to 1998 as a high school head football coach, head basketball coach, assistant basketball coach, junior high basketball coach, and coaching his 2 daughters in youth basketball. In 1998, Joel stepped into administrative leadership, serving as superintendent of the Arlington School District until 2002. His career as an educational leader continued at Hamlin High School, where he spent 14 years as superintendent from 2002 to 2016 before assuming his current role as superintendent at Madison Central School District. This year marks Joel's 40th year of service in K-12 public education. Beyond the classroom and the superintendent's office, Joe made his mark as a basketball official. He began officiating lower-level games during his college years and officiated varsity girls and boys basketball games for 14 years. Among those games were many with the Entringer Classic, showcasing his dedication to supporting student athletes both on and off the court. Joe's passion for student activities has been evident throughout his 40 years career. Whether as a teacher, coach, or official, or superintendent, he has continuously advocated for the importance of extracurricular involvement in shaping students. His legacy is a testament to the impact of life-dedicated service, leadership, and community. Joel credits much of his success to the support of his wife, Janet, as they celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary this past August. Together they have built a family that includes 2 daughters, Jill, her husband Cole, and Jade Jorgensen and Matt, and 3 grandchildren, Lincoln, Collins, and Sutton. Ladies and gentlemen, Joel Jorgensen.
All right, we are back with the Elkton Lumber halftime show. It is official. The North Dakota State Bison have taken out our SDSU Jackrabbits 28-21. North Dakota State will move on to the FCS National Championship game in January. They will play the winner of Montana State and USD. Their game is about to start. They had a 2:30 start, so about 15 minutes away yet for the Coyotes and Bobcats out in Bozeman. Game 2 of the day for the FCS semifinals. Other action around here, it is Dubrick getting a win over the Del Rapids Couriers in the other gym here in Coleman, 58-35. Good win by the Dolphins today. The next game up in the main gym, Del Rapids St. Mary against Flandreau. So that is the next matchup in the other gym. Coming up here in the auxiliary gym, after this game, we've got Baltic and S-Line Hendricks coming up. Later on for me tonight in the main gym, it is Arlington against the Sioux Valley Cossacks. I'll be in the main gym calling that as well, as we see what the Cossacks can do off of a good win last night against Baltic. So we'll see what the Cossacks have in store. The Elkton Lumber halftime show here, disappointingly, as our Rabbits are no longer, the most decorated team in the FCS. Their run of 2 straight national titles comes to an end in Fargo. So we will move on through this second half knowing that our Rabbits are coming home. A great career by Mark Gronowski, who is undefeated in his career at Dana J. Dykehouse, 31-0 in his career. And he will finally be graduating and moving on. One of the best, if not the best, quarterback that SDSU's ever seen, maybe the most decorated, and the best record. He graduates now with 49 FCS victories under his belt, tied for the top with Easton Stick of North Dakota State fame. So we're just doing a little, some warm-ups on the floor. I think if people pay $1 or make a shot, they get a free soda out of the deal. Madison is taking the floor now again. They're out of locker room. So we've got about 1:10 left to go of our halftime show here, and the Elks are on their way. There we go. There's the Elks right there on the bottom of the screen. You can see them walking into the gym, fresh out of their halftime. It is a 19-11 lead for the Elks here in the Auxiliary Gym, the 27th annual Girls Entringer Scholarship Classic right here in Coleman. So we've got 2 more quarters to go. We're going to get the soda shooters off the floor here shortly and be right back at it. You can see our other sponsors here. Let me bring that up here on my phone. We'll go through them quickly as we move through other action. Bringing us this Elkton Lake Benton broadcast today right here on Saul's Media. Bell Brands, the Mini Baby Bells, the snack cheese of champions. Bringing us the starting lineups today, Elkton Locker. Thank you to Steve and Diane Hammer, being proud sponsors of Elkton Lake Benton Athletics and the Saul's Media broadcast. Our halftime show was brought to us today by Elkton Lumber. Other Elkton Lake Benton sponsors we want to thank: Shorty's Hot Box Food Truck, GP Auto, IPS, Integrated Power Services, and Nick's Hamburgers, Jimmy John's, and the Man Cave Barbershop, all proud sponsors of Elkton Lake Benton Athletics and the Saul's Media broadcast. So our second half is about to be underway. Let me get back to my scoreboard that I have here. The Elks will have the first possession. That is Sydney DeFries. And we're calling that a 2-point shot, I believe. Elkton gets a steal at half court. Gilla Jones now. Yeah, it was just a 2-pointer for the Elks. So Sydney DeFries had a toe on the line. So just a long 2 by Sydney DeFries, but she connects on that. Rankley now in the paint. There's a tough basket. It rolls in and out. She gets her own offensive board. Too strong off the bank board. Tanisha John will fight it down, and it'll go out of bounds on Madison. Trying to get everything up to date here. ELB will throw that in. Choft will find Sydney DeFries, top of the key. She dribbles to about 15 feet, cross court. Let me Maya Jensen going back to Choft. Now they find Rankley in the right block. She's going to spin into the lane. Over to Maya Jensen once again. We come out of the corner. Gilla Jones, top of the key. She'll drive down the left side. Sydney DeFries now will take it to the foul line. Jensen up to Toft, looking in the paint once again. Toft, throw that over. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Someone's going to have to shoot it here. Toft with a long 3. It hits the bank board, not the rim, so that'll be a shot clock violation by the Elks. Another turnover by the Elks, so they drop into full court pressure now, going to make Madison work for it. King gets it up around half court, stolen away by Rankley right underneath our iPad. So Rankley gets it to Gilla Jones. She'll take it the other way. Rankley at the foul line. Elks throw it around. Toft now driving down the right side. Rankley's going to look at the 3, and she hits it from the right corner. Big 3 by Andrea Rankley, the senior. And stolen away by Gilla Jones. Now a loose ball out there. That's in a corner we can't see because I have a wall right next to me, so I'm sorry about the video. Andrea Rankley with a big 3. Let me get you up to date on their scoreboard here. ELB forcing another turnover. I think they knocked out of bounds there. We're going to call that Madison ball. They'll inbounds right in front of the Elkton Lake Benton bench, but it's going to be a timeout by the Madison Bulldogs. 24-11. We've got 6:21 left to go in this third quarter. Leading scorer for the Elks now, Sydney DeFries. She's got 2 for 6. That is 9 points for Sydney DeFries. Charlie Toft up to 5. Gilla Jones, she's got 4 with a couple of free throws. And now Andrea Rankley with a huge 3 from the corner. She's up to 6 points on her day as the Elks have opened up the second half with a 5-0 run. 24-11 our score now. Trying to find other action. I mentioned that it was a Dubrick victory over Del Rapids in the other gym. So I don't see anything else going on. On the other side of the state at the Monument Summit Arena in Rapid City, Lakota Tech got a win over Wall today. Ulrich's got a win over Crazy Horse. And it looks like Cheyenne Eagle Butte with a win over Lower Brule. That's all part of the Lakota National Invitational, a huge event out in Rapid City every year. So they'll be playing for a title at some point today. I'm not sure who is in that championship game, but it'll probably be tonight at some point. Gella Jones gets the inbounds pass for the Elks. She's going to find Wrinkly in the paint. Now everyone to the floor. Not sure if we have a foul coming or if we have, we do have a foul coming. So Tanisha John for Madison is going to be called for a personal. First team foul on Madison. It's John's second personal. So the Elks will throw this in underneath their basket. Toft. Into the corner, that's Toft. She's going to dribble up to the left wing, cross court. That's Jensen into Wrinkly on the block. Gella Jones will drive to the foul line, stopped right there, off the toes of Madison. So I think Elkton Lake Benton's going to retain this. Yeah. Off the foot of Lindsey King and out of bounds. So ELB will keep it. Toft will throw this in. Gella Jones now. Sydney DeFries, right wing. She'll drive to the baseline, cross court. We'll go to Toft at the top of the key. She'll drive right down the right side of the lane, and she will be fouled on her jumper. We're going to say that she was on the floor. Okay. Tanisha Jones gets personal foul number 3 for the Madison Bulldogs. That's team foul number 2. But she was fouled on the floor, apparently. Interesting call. Maya Jensen gets the inbounds off the bankboard and out. Madison the rebound. Hunsley the other way. Madison now. That's Lindsey King. Her pass is going to be knocked away by Sydney DeFries and out of bounds. Madison will keep it. 5:33 left to go in this third quarter. Grace Fegan will throw this in just underneath our iPad here. It's all great angles here. King is trying to find Tanisha John, but it is just past her fingertips and out of bounds. Another turnover by the Bulldogs. Jocelyn Prosh in for the Elks. And Prosh is going to take it across the half-court line. Rankley now on the elbow. Gets it over to Freeze. Toft gets a handle on that cross-court pass. Maya Jensen back to Toft. She'll dribble to the elbow, cross court. That is Prosh with a three-point try. Long rebound, Madison. Malone runs that down. She gets it over to Hunsley, and Hunsley will take it the other way. Fegan, top of the key. Finds a streaking Rummel in the paint. Topkin, actually, sorry. Three-pointer by Madison, off the mark. Maya Jensen the rebound. DeFries over to Prosh, and the Elks are the other way. Prosh has it knocked out of her hands. Wrinkly gets a handle on it. DeFries to our left corner that we can't see. That must have been just past the hands of Toft or knocked out of bounds by Madison. Looks like it was knocked out of bounds by Madison. 4:36 left to go in this third quarter. 24-11 our score. Toft is going to get that left wing. Prosh over to Sydney DeFries. She'll try the three-pointer off the back of the iron and out. Long rebound. Madison runs it down. This is Grace Fegan. She loses a handle on it. That slows her down. Elks now bringing a trapping pressure on her, and it'll be Hunsley in the corner. That's off the mark. Sydney DeFries the rebound. She gets trapped on the far sideline. Her pass over to Rankley just past the hands. Madison the other way. Transition bucket off the side of the iron and out. Rankley the rebound. Trading turnovers and bad shots right now. Toft. Maya Jensen back to Toft. That's DeFries in the corner. She thinks about the three. Elks facing a zone defense now. Prosh will take the three off the mark. Offensive board, but thrown away. That is Rummel on transition. That's off the mark. Prosh long pass. Rankley now. She'll try the 15-footer. That's too strong. Sloppy play out here. We're going to get a timeout, though. And that'll be a full timeout for Elkton Lake Benton. So we are here at the 27th annual Girls Entringer Scholarship Classic. We're here in the auxiliary gym. Not a bad crowd. 24-11 our score. Scoring leaders for the Elks, Gella Jones. She's got 4. Charlie Choff, she's got 5 today. Sydney DeFries up to 9 points on her day. And Andrea Rinkley, she's up to 6 points on her day. Just some sloppy play after a 5-0 start. The Madison Bulldogs still being held scoreless in this third quarter. 3:32 left to go in the third. It was 19-11 at halftime. The Elks put 5 on the board, and that's the only scoring for this third quarter. So teams exchanging turnovers and some bad shots. You can see our sponsors on the scoreboard there as Elkton Lumber, GP Auto, and Jimmy John's, all proud sponsors of the Sauls Media broadcast and Elkton Lake Benton Athletics. Elks will have this off of the timeout. Toft will throw this in underneath the Elkton basket. Brinkley in the corner. She'll find Toft on the block. Knocks it over to Sydney DeFries. Jones. Now we're in the left corner. Toft had an arm around her neck. No call there. That is Maya Jensen. Just too strong on that and knocked out of bounds by Madison. ELB is going to keep it. Fresh 35 coming. So Toft will throw this in. Brinkley on the right block. That'll be blocked from behind, but she's going to get hit with the body. So a foul on Madison. That is Ella Malone getting a personal, her first. Third team foul for Madison in the quarter. Andrea Rinkley, the senior, on the foul line. Her first free throw is good. Second free throw coming, and that rattles around, but it finds the bottom. So Madison the other way. Turnover by the Elks, another steal. Gella Jones will take it the other way. Sydney DeFries going to drive in from the right block. Good take, too strong with the jumper. Grace Fegan the rebound. Madison the other way now. She stops at the top of the key. Malone to Topkin. That's Fegan now, way too far away from the basket. She looked at shooting that. Rummel's going to do a cross-court pass. Fegan now again. There is Malone. She stopped on the baseline. And it'll be thrown away. Another steal by the Elks. Gella Jones right down the right side. No one stops her. Off the bankboard, too strong. Another miss in transition by the Elks. Hunsley picks up her dribble at half court. Stolen away by Sydney DeFries. She'll try it down the left side of the lane. And there we go. Get a connection there. Bulldogs the other way. Almost stolen away by the Elks. Fegan's now got it. Top of the key. Sydney DeFries knocks that away and it'll go out of bounds. Sydney DeFries, our leading scorer today. She's got 11 now for the Elks. Madison still scoreless in this third quarter, sorry. 2 minutes left. Madison will throw this in. That is Malone. She'll find a streaking Hunley, and Madison finally gets a bucket in this third quarter. Gella Jones the other way for the Elks. Maddie Jensen over to Jocelyn Prosh now. Jones, she'll drive into the foul line. Brinkley at the elbow. Prosh looked at it. Maddie Jensen. Almost a walk. Rinkley now on the right block. She'll back it in. Too strong off the backboard. Gets her own offensive board, and she'll be fouled on the second attempt. Rinkley heading the line for 2 shots. 14 foul by Madison. And that'll be on Cambry Hunsley, the 5'9" senior forward. Her second personal. Rinkley too strong on the first foul attempt. Tough shooting today by the team of Elkton Lake Benton. Brinkley with a second foul attempt. And that one's good. 29-13 now. Big lead by the Elks. Madison the other way. This is Lindsey King getting it down. Hunsley right in the paint, too strong on that. Rankley trying to get a handle on the rebound, but it's knocked out by Rankley. Madison will keep it. King throws it the other way. Tompkin has to run that down. 1:10 left to go here in the third quarter. Hunsley, top of the key. That is Malone now on the baseline. She's looking to the top. That's Tompkin with it again. She drives right down the left side. Rummel's going to try a three off the back of the iron and out. Offensive board. Madison gets that. Another opportunity. Malone looks at the jumper from 10 feet. Decides against that. Rummel driving around the left side, and it'll be a foul on Jocelyn Prosh, a reach in. Second team foul on the Elks here in the third. Peyton Keel in for the Elks. Maddie Jensen will take a breather. Peyton Keel out there with Andrea Rinkley, Charlie Toft, Sydney DeFries, and Jocelyn Prosh. So Madison's going to throw this in. This will be Hunsley from the top of the key. That is an air ball, and that'll hit the back wall and out of bounds. ELB will take over. .40 seconds left to go in this third quarter. ELB has it knocked away. That was Lindsey King getting a hand on that, knocking it to the sidelines. Elks are going to throw this in front of their bench. Tanisha John back on for Madison. Prosh gets this now. Peyton Keel to Rankley on the elbow. They throw it to the corner. DeFries dribbles up. Finds Peyton Keel, top of the key. Rankley now in the paint. Nowhere to go with that. She's triple teamed. Rankley now on the left block. She finds an open spot. Now she's going to try to throw it back out. Triple teamed once again. It'll be Sydney DeFries. Toff from the right wing. Three-pointer on the way off the front of the iron and straight down. And now we've got a scrum in the paint, and I think we're going to have a tie-up. And that possession arrow is going to point towards Madison. 6.9 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Elks bring you full court pressure once again. They've had good luck getting steals. 4 seconds left, 2 seconds left. Madison's got to shoot it. It's going to be Tanisha John from the top of the key, and that'll fall short. No good on that, so it is 29-13 as we move to the fourth quarter. Scoring leaders for our Elks now as we move to the fourth. Gilla Jones, she's got 4. Charlie Toff, she's got 5. Sydney DeFries having a good day. That is 8 and a three-pointer. That's 11 points for DeFries. And Andrea Rankley added some free throws there, so she's got 4, 6, and now she's up to 9 points on her day. So that is the scoring leaders for the Elks. They have a 29-13 lead. One more run through our sponsors here, as we just want to thank everyone for being a part of Elkton Lake Benton Athletics. Elkton Locker brought us our starting lineups today. Elkton Lumber, the halftime sponsor. Other Elkton Lake Benton sponsors: GP Auto, Shorty's Hot Box Food Truck, Bell Brands, the Mini Baby Bells. They are the snack cheese of champions. IPS, that's Integrated Power Services. Jimmy John's, the Man Cave Barbershop, and Nick's Hamburgers, all proud sponsors of these Elkton Lake Benton broadcasts. ELB is going to have the first possession of the fourth quarter. They will throw it in now. I think you got to turn the music off. It wasn't me. Stop looking at me. So, we've got our music under control. Some students from the Coleman Egan are helping me up here. Elks will throw this in now. Prosh, top of the key. Rankley now on the free throw line. Her pass stolen away. Topkin over the hands of Rummel and out of bounds. Another turnover by Madison. Elks will take it the other way now. Getting myself all put together up here in the auxiliary press box, the old weight room. And we're going to have a turnover by the Elks. No foul in that. I think someone was had a foot on the baseline there. So a turnover by the Elks. Madison now the other way. That's Hunsley now. Over to Rummel. She'll drive in from the right wing. Hunsley, top of the key. Looking for teammates. That's King jumping up and down in the paint. Finally gets it. King on the wing. And Sydney DeFries is going to knock that out of bounds. Almost another steal for Sydney DeFries. Madison will throw this in now. Tanisha John gets the inbounds. 5 on the shot clock. Hunsley off the iron. Tanisha John the rebound. Second opportunity for the Bulldogs. She'll spin, throw it off the backboard. Too strong on that. Off the rebound. The Elks are the other way. Keel. DeFries now. That's Rankley through her hands. And it was Prosh that gets a handle on that. She'll try a runner from 10 feet off the mark. Sydney DeFries the offensive board. Too strong off the bankboard. Madison the rebound. Quickly the other way. Lindsey King too strong off of that bankboard, and it'll be Sydney DeFries getting knocked out of bounds, so a foul on Madison, first team foul. Number 21, that's Cambry Hunsley. Sorry, that's Madison Rummel, her fourth personal. And we're going to get a timeout by Madison. 6:31 left to go in this fourth quarter. You can see some red jerseys that are sitting up in the corner there. That is the Esteline Hendricks Redhawks getting ready for the game right after this. Esteline Hendricks is going to be playing Baltic on this floor in the auxiliary gym right after this game is completed. On the main gym right now, Castlewood and Chester should be going at it. The Warriors and Flyers. A couple of good teams around here. Elkton Lake Benton, very familiar. Sioux Valley, my call at 6:30 tonight, also familiar with Castlewood and Chester. Not only in basketball, but volleyball flows at the same time. So these teams all know each other pretty well. ELB is going to throw this in on the far sideline. Coming out of that Madison timeout. Head coach for Madison wondering why the girls are lined up as where they are. Fresh out of that timeout. Jones, top of the key. Rankley now on the elbow. She'll dribble it down, find a cutting Toft into the paint. She gets to 10 feet, hands all over. Jones over to Rankley now. Back to Toft on the right block. She's going to spin on that and try it off the backboard. Fouled as she shoots it. Doesn't connect on the jumper, but she's going to get 2 free throws out of this. So Charlie Toft, who had 5 points in that first quarter, hasn't scored since. Now she's on the free throw line. That foul was on Tanisha John of Madison, her 4th personal. First free throw off the mark. Toft now, second free throw. On the way, and good. So she connects on try number 2. ELB gets to 30 points on the day. Madison will just throw this in, facing full court pressure once again. Grace Fegan. That's King. John at half court. She'll get it across, knocked out of her hands. She'll run it down. Fegan now, guarded by Jones. Lindsey King will find John. She spins at 10 feet off the backboard and in. Good spin, good jump shot by Madison. They get 2 more points on the board. 30-15, our lead here in Coleman at the 27th annual Girls Entringer Scholarship Classic. Rankley for the Elks, off the backboard and in. Good jumper by Andrea Rankley, the senior, scoring. Grace Fegan will try to get it the other way. Down the far sideline. She'll find it's a Topkin, and that'll be a foul by the Elks. The foul is on Sydney DeFries, her second personal, and here comes a fresh 5 for the Madison Bulldogs. Some JV kids coming in. We've got 5:23 left to go in this game. Madison now, they'll try a long 2 as a foot was inside the three-point line. That'll be an air ball and out of bounds. That was number 10, Savannah Snow, who shot that. So the Elks will take it the other way. Sydney DeFries down the far sideline, fights through 2 defenders, and she's actually going to draw a blocking call. That'll be the 3rd team foul. First personal on Mara Klingbeil for Madison. Maya Jensen in the corner, finds Rankley on the right block. Kick out to top, back to Maya Jensen. Into Rankley once again. She'll turn, back it in. Too strong off the bankboard. Madison the rebound. Savannah Snow will get this across half court. No, she'll give it up to Ella Malone. They feed it into the paint. That is number 22. Don't have that on my roster. A bad pass, run down by Madison. They're going to bring it back. Knocked away by ELB, so no over and back. ELB gets a steal. Gilla Jones streaking down the left side lane. Too strong, and it'll be Toff that cleans that up. Another bucket for the Elks. Madison the other way now. Bad pass. That goes right into the front row on the far sideline. And now the starters back on the court for Madison. Toft is going to throw this in. Maddie Jensen, she's going to drive in off the baseline, trying to find Rankley in the paint. It's a bad pass thrown away. No travel on that. Well, maybe there was a travel now that we got a whistle, and it is going to be a foul on Elkton Lake Benton. A hold as she tripped over the Elkton defender, but a hold apparently. Okay. We'll go with that. Madison now the other way. Tanisha John will get it across half court. Grace Fegan, top of the key. 34-15. 4 minutes left to go in this game. Fegan with a long 3. And Madison will knock that pass away, but ELB will keep it. The Elks will throw it in right in front of the scorer's table, just underneath my iPad here. Rankley's got it on the right wing. Jones will find Top right on the right block. Good block by Madison right there. I think it was Hundley that got a hand on that. Fegan now the other way for the Bulldogs. 3:37 left to go in this game. Topkin, she'll dribble up. Lindsay King will fire up a 3, and that'll count. And she's fouled on her 3-point attempt, so a possible 4-point play for Madison here. Lindsay King hits the 3. She was hit on the arm. 3-pointer counts. ELB is going to call a 30-second timeout. 34-21 now. 3:27 left to go in this game. Run down our sponsors once again here. Proud sponsors of the Elkton Lake Benton broadcast. The Elkton Locker brought us our starting lineups. Elkton Lumber, the halftime show sponsors. Other ELB sponsors, Shorty's Hot Box Food Truck, GP Auto, Bell Brands, IPS Integrated Power Services, Jimmy John's, The Man Cave Barbershop, and Nick's Hamburgers, all proud sponsors of the Sauls Media broadcasts and Elkton Lake Benton Athletics. Now moving into our last 3 minutes and 27 seconds. This is a possible 4-point play for Lindsay King, the 5'6" senior guard from Madison. She just hit a 3, got hit on the arm. Free throw off the mark and out, and it'll be Thoth that runs that down for the Elks. Charlie will take it across half court. And it goes through the hands of Prosch and out of bounds. Another turnover by the Elks. So the Elks do have a pretty good lead. I don't think they're giving that up by any means, but it's been a sloppy day for the Elks. This will be a hard-fought victory when they close this out, or if they can. Grace Fegan across the timeline. Tanisha King at the foul line. She'll just give it back to Fegan. Hunsley now, right wing. Topkin, she's going to drive baseline. Take a reverse layup. Knocked out of her hand. She's slow to get off the floor. Grabbing at her hand. I think she just landed on her wrist a little bit wrong there. Coming up with some pain. It'll be Ella Malone coming in to give her a breather. So the Elks are going to fire this in, facing some full court pressure themselves. DeFries now get that across half court. They break the press. Down to Wrinkley in the left block. She turns, gets into the paint. Too short on her jumper. Tanisha John the rebound. Madison the other way. Malone over to Fegan. That's a three-point try. Off the front of the iron and out. Wrinkley fights for the rebound. Loose ball picked up by John. Madison, that's cross court. That's a long two by Hunsley. Off the front of the iron. Madison keeps it alive. That was Fegan that knocked it across the baseline. Bulldogs run it down, and John can't keep it inbounds. It goes off her hands and out of bounds. A turnover by Madison. 34-21. We've got 2 minutes and 23 seconds left in this game. Toft is going to throw this in. DeFries now. She's being pushed, and Madison has to foul to get the ball back. That'll send Sydney DeFries to the free throw line, as that is team foul number 5 in this quarter for Madison. Personal foul number 2 on Ella Malone, the sophomore guard. So Sydney DeFries on the foul line. First of 2 on the way. Off the side of the iron and out. DeFries, her second free throw attempt. That's also off the side of the iron, and Tanisha John runs down the rebound. Madison quickly the other way. Malone to Tanisha John. Her three-pointer's off the mark. Good rebound, DeFries. She's going to take it the other way, pushing to Wrinkley. Trying to find Thoft in the paint. Knocked out of her hands. Madison will come up with a loose ball. Hunsley the other way. And she'll lose control of it. Sydney DeFries knocked out of her hands, actually, so it'll be out of bounds on ELB. Gella Jones back in. Prosch will take a breather for the Elks. Madison's going to throw this in from the far sideline. That is Lindsey King throwing that in. Fegan now. Way out by half court. Tanisha John, she's going to turn around on the elbow. Off the bankboard, too strong. Maya Jensen the rebound. 1:45 left to go. Sydney DeFries the outlet. She'll take it down the far sideline. Wrinkley now. They throw it to the corner. I'm not sure who that is over there. I can't even see. It's Toft over there. Gella Jones, top of the key. Madison still in that zone defense, and now they're not fouling either, so I think they've probably thrown up the flag a little bit here. Gella Jones. Pick up her dribble. That's Thoft in the corner. Wrinkley now. Over to Maya Jensen. Sydney DeFries will drive in the paint. Her runner's off the mark. She fights to get her own offensive board. And they're saying that didn't touch the rim, so we're going to have a shot clock violation on that ELB possession. Fresh 5 in for Madison. 34-21 our score. We've got 1:10 left in this fourth quarter. Madison will throw this in underneath the Elks basket. Have to go the whole distance. Elks still bringing pressure. Bad pass stolen away by Sydney DeFries. Cross court, that's Jones. Toft at the three-point line. Wrinkley now trying to work some of this clock as well. We're down to 56 seconds left. Jones, top of the key. Still dribbling away. Wrinkley in the paint. Maya Jensen. That is DeFries, who'll drive into the paint. Her runner off the mark. Wrinkley the offensive board and the putback. Nice job, Andrew Wrinkley, the senior, getting 2 points there. We'll get a timeout by ELB. 36-21 our score. 36.7 seconds left in this fourth quarter. Brinkley now up to 6 buckets. She's got a 3-pointer. That's 9 plus the 4 free throws. Brinkley's up to 13 points now. So good job by the senior. 15-point lead as we're about to close this out. 36.7 seconds left. The Elks will be on defense, so Madison's going to have to go the whole distance to the floor here. But they're running out of time. Just a poor offensive day by both squads. So Madison's going to throw this in. Essentially have their JV squad out there now. This is Savannah Snow getting it across the timeline. 30 seconds left to go. Madison will drive that in from the left wing. That is number 4. That's Cameron Dibadal. Shot off the mark. ELB's got their JV squad in as Prosh runs that down. That was number 14. Adeline Rankley. Back to Prosh. She gets it across the half-court line. 4 seconds left. Prosh will just pick it up, trying to run this out. And that'll do it. 36-21 our score here at the Entringer Classic. Win number 3 for first-year head coach Mike and Vincent. 36-21 our final. The Elks moved to 3-1 on their season. Madison still winless on their season as another sub-30 point total for the Madison Bulldogs. We're going to find out our Entringer player of the game. We'll just keep it with the PA announcer. Points for Andrea Rankley. She is the Entringer player of the game. She gets a commemorative game ball, and it looks like some flowers out there. So good job to the senior. And that's going to do it for the Elkton Lake Benton broadcast today. This is the Entringer. I'll be back with you later on tonight at 6:30 for the Sioux Valley matchup against the Arlington Cardinals in the main gymnasium. Until then, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening along. And we'll be back with you after the new year for the next Elkton Lake Benton broadcast for the girls. The boys Entringer a week from today at the Brookings High School. I believe their game is at 6:30 that day. So we'll see how that goes. They'll have a matchup. I don't remember now, but their game next Saturday at the Brookings High School for the boys Entringer, the 31st annual boys tournament. So that's going to do it from Coleman today for the Elkton Lake Benton Athletics. I'll be back on here at 6:30 with Sioux Valley, and we'll talk to you then. Peace out.